Rightio, folks, here we are on Trading Up. We've got Nick Sean in the house. We've just done an amazing fourth episode in the series of Nick Sean over there on the Trading Up podcast. Links below the video here. But today we're going to actually walk you through, or Nick's going to walk you through his approach to compounding accounts. So we talked about it in the show. We talked about that, and we talked about hedging. Two different things. So today we're going to get to see how he compounds an account from $1,000 to $10,000. Well, that's in about 30 days. That's sort of like the rough gauge. So over to you, Nick. Folks, if you missed out on joining the Trading Nut Funded Cup, don't worry. With over 3,000 traders registered, my sponsors City Traders Imperium have decided to run another, but this time they've promised the prizes will be even bigger and better. Folks, if you want to register for this and show your skills as a trader, click on the link above or the link below the video or in the podcast description, then sign up for free before 15th of June 2022 and get 10% off any City Traders Imperium product just for entering the competition. Good luck, folks, and we'll see you in the cup.
Essentially, all we're looking to do is the first thing is you're just looking at where has price had huge bounces in the past, okay? This can be a simple bounce of resistance or support. It can be a break and then a retest of resistance or support. Very simple zone. So how I do this is I just go to the 1 hour chart and then I just zoom out. While I'm zoomed out, I'm just looking at the areas where price has had huge bounces in the past. So this right here, there's been a huge sell-off for whatever reason right there. So I've just extended a zone there. Here at this location, we've had 1, 2, 3, and then now currently 4 bounces off this zone. And I'm actually in a trade on this right now, and I'll cover that in a second. I had taken a trade back here a little over a week ago at this zone right here. We had a huge bounce at the support level. Price tried to bounce again, but instead broke back below, tested and rejected. So I got a sell trade there. So it's just very simple price levels where price has had huge reactions in the past. That's all I'm doing. And it's the same thing for every single pair. I don't use little zones like this for this approach, like stuff like this, where it's just like, it's been support temporarily and had like, a little bit of a bounce off of it, like in this case, 61 pips, but 61 pips for 80 JPY compared to something like this, like 300 pips. Like I don't trade zones with, it's just been a little bit of a bounce. So nothing small. I just kind of zoom out on the 1 hour and I just look at the areas where it's real nice and clear, like 1, 2, 3, 4, broke back below, tested as resistance, entered. I'm going to sell on this right now. Same thing as here's resistance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Liquidity spike above, comes back below, found resistance twice again. Just super clear zones. So that's how it starts. You just identify super obvious support resistance zones. The second thing is I look for a specific confirmation at the zone. I go into way more detail about this in the compounding course. So you guys can feel free to get that if there's availability at the time you're watching this video. If we have any remaining spots, you can just jump in there and see that. But it's very simple. It's essentially just waiting for price to reject at a zone. That's all it is. It's not complicated. It's not hard. It's nothing secret. It's nothing private that nobody hasn't already figured out before. It's just the same old simple stuff over and over. After there's rejection at a major zone, then what I'll do is I'll bring up a long short position tool here on TradingView. So for instance, like I'll just put it there on the chart. What I'll do is first I'll figure out wherever my entry is going to be. So for this, we'll use, I think this is a pretty clear example with 80 JPY. So price has broken through a clear zone, came up, rejected it, had rejection at the zone. So it's a very obvious support zone. We broke below it. We've come back to retest. Oh, I wonder what's going to happen, right? Like usually it bounces around at the zones. So it's come to the zone, it's rejected. I didn't see all this since this occurred during London session while I was asleep. So I was not able to get my entry up in here. Otherwise I would have. New York session doesn't start till the little red shaded area right here. So that's when I woke up and saw it this morning. So I entered right here. I just drag my stop out to wherever the stop needs to go. It's generally a good distance above the absolute high that was formed at the zone, as well as the zone itself. It needs to be above. And I don't use zones like this where it's like, where you're trying to like find the exact, like within a few pips price range, like the market doesn't work like that. Like it's just price areas, it's regions where price bounce at. Anyway, so after this rejected, I entered into a trade. I put my stop loss at a location where it's just an invalidation point. Like if price gets all the way up here, I'm just going to call it a trade and like take the loss. And then I extend my target, you'll see here, to a 1.25. What this allows me to do is for this specific account, I can risk 40% of the account on this trade to make potentially 50%. And as long as you're starting with a small account balance, like $1,000, $500, $100, whatever it is for you, whatever is a small balance for you, you can start with that small balance. If you lose 40% of a $500 account, that's like $200, right? It's if you have 10K to trade with, that's probably not life changing. It's whatever. It's no different than if you were to risk $2,000 on a 10K account. However, the amount of profit that you can make with that tiny amount at risk up front is exponential. It's crazy. I normally stop at 10x and just internal transfer the profits to my main account, but the amount of profit that you can make is just exponential. So anyway, this one, like I said, I'm short right now on with a 40% risk and a 50% gain for that account. There's also a couple trades that I have taken this week, which I can cover here in a second. But before I do, Cam, I'll turn it back to you. Any questions you have for the moment?
So in terms of like the compounding, the 40%, what do you use to do the calculation on that?
Oh, so I have two apps. I have the Stinio app on my phone, and I also use the MyFX book position size calculator. So Stinio app is right there where my index finger is. So I use that. And with the Stinio app, I have like a subscription to it. And you can see it right there, actually. It says 40%. So I risk 40% for that. You can also use the MyFX book position size calculator on their website. That works fine, but that's how I do the lot size calculation.
And how are you entering these trades? Are they at market or are they stop orders, limit orders?
Most of them are at market. The only time I'll enter a limit order is if there has already been a setup at the zone that I missed, but I approach it with the logic like, okay, I missed that entry. I'm not going to get a horrible entry way here on the other side of the zone. However, if it happens to come back into the zone, like if I'm lucky enough that it comes back just to retest the zone, then I'll enter immediately. In those cases, I will use a limit order. There has to have already been rejection. A good example of that is this trade that I took this week. This setup, it was 80 New Zealand dollar. It was just a break above resistance turning to support. So this right here, I had missed the first entry right here. Like it had already taken off. I didn't want to enter up here because if you enter up there after it's already like taken off, I mean, the stop has to go all the way down here. Target has to go like way up here for this to work. So, right. However, if I just wait and if I'm lucky enough that it comes back to the support again, I'll enter at the support, provided that it's a clear zone and provided that there's already been rejection and I would already be in the trade anyway, had I been able to have watched it. Obviously, you're going to miss trades while you're asleep and it's not in your session or whatever. So in this case, I just set a buy limit and then it had triggered the buy limit last night. And today it went to the profit target towards not the end, but sometime during a New York session, the beginning of New York session. So for trades like these, I'll use a limit order. About 90%, 80, 85, 90% of my trades are market.
And are you waiting for, like, say, for example, close of an hour I see you're on the hourly chart here, to get into that or to place your market order? Are you just, I'm at the chart, it's in the area that I sort of want to get into, I'm going to get in. How accurate did these entries need to be?
They don't need to be really accurate. That's kind of the beautiful part, is that all you're looking is you're waiting for price to get to a clear zone. Then you're asking yourself the question, all right, now I'm going to wait until I can ask the question, am I convinced price is trying to bounce at this zone? If the answer to that question is yes, I'm convinced price is trying to bounce at this zone, then I'll enter a trade. That can manifest in a variety of different ways. For instance, it can be a bullish candle. It can be a bullish engulfing candle. It can be a big bullish candle with a long wick on the bottom. It can be a huge pin bar with I think people call it like a doji or something, where it's a long wick on the bottom, a little bit of a wick on the top, but a close in the middle. Just anything that shows me that's beyond a reasonable doubt, price is trying to bounce right here. As long as I'm convinced it's trying to reject the zone initially, then yeah, I'm fine with just getting in. It's not complicated.
And I like the beauty of this in terms of there is no trade management, right? You're literally either going to win the trade or lose the trade. Is that right?
That's correct. There was trade management at first, but then what I noticed is that my performance using like no trade management versus using trade management was about the same. Because even with trade management, you can close a trade early at break even. You're like, I got out of it, cool. Which sometimes I will still do that. An example of that is on Euro GBP. I closed this trade this morning. I entered last night. The entry confirmation was actually up here, but I wasn't able to take both of these trades. I'd missed them for whatever reason. I was sleeping. But when it came back to the zone, I had a sell limit that triggered. When I woke up this morning and it was still going sideways, I just got a weird feeling about it. That's just my experience and intuition coming into play. So I ended up opting to close this at break even. And then went sideways the whole of New York session the past few hours. So maybe like 10 to 20% of my trades I'll close early, but most of them I just let them play out. I have roughly the same win rate doing that. So it's like do a little bit of work to get the same result or do a whole bunch of crazy work to get the same result. It's like I'd rather just do the little bit of work. So I just let them play out mostly.
And have you got anything you can show us around like the guys that have been doing, and I know it's only a limited number of people that have been given access to this, your compounding course. Have you got any sort of stuff you can show us around how they've performed or how they're finding it?
Yeah, people were making so much racket in my Mission FX chat that we had to create a dedicated compounding chat here at Mission FX because like people were, I mean, they were losing their minds with the system. So essentially you'll see like, for instance, people like Josh, they set up their charts like the exact same way as me. And you'll see like the zone Josh has here. He's got like a daily zone and then he's just extended it to where he thinks, all right, simple as it is, prices come to this zone before and rejected like multiple times in the past. All right, well, we'll just wait for it to get there. And if it gets there and starts to reject, maybe we can take a trade. So he's doing that. This is a trade. I don't call most of my trades publicly anymore, but I call most of them to Mission FX clients here in the just multiple various discords. I also call things like here in like stock trading, for instance, I called like Tesla continuing to crash. Like this was something I shared 2 days ago. I thought it would continue lower and then it ended up working out. Now I'm looking to build long positions in Tesla. So I still call a lot of my trades to clients, not all of them, just kind of depends on the day. But so I called this this trade on Euro Canadian dollar when it was up here yesterday, but I had missed the entry. I'd said if it comes back, I'll be taking a short. The interesting thing is that most of my clients, if we're looking at their results, we all take a lot of the same trades. Like it's crazy. Like this is Elijah. So one of my clients named Elijah. So he took a sell here. He actually got a better entry on EuroCAD at the zone. Almost had his target hit, but now he's still in the same boat as me. Like we're waiting on EuroCAD to still play out. I don't know if it'll play out. I don't really care. It'll either play out or it won't, but I'm still in this trade. So anyway, Elijah took that. Zach took the same trade here. Euro Canadian dollar took this. Also took a buy right here as well. So I guess he got that as well. Johnny's been doing insane. Like this is ridiculous, but you'll notice it's just support and resistance levels. It's very simple. Like, all right, it's broken this support zone. If it comes back and starts to bounce, it's probably going to bounce a support, like the same old stuff over and over. So he also took the Euro CAD trade. And I guess he said he kind of likes this pair. So I guess I'll give him these thumbs up things. We'll keep going further up. This is another trade. So the AED JPY trade that I told you that I'm in right now. So I called this at 8 a.m. this morning. I said I'm short on AJ. And then I shared the screenshot of where I entered. So like I said, there's that one. And then it's pretty much still at break even for right now. So we'll do that. I'm closing EG here at break even. This is the one that I told you a second ago. So I called out that trade. So then we have Mark, which Mark has been doing ridiculous. Like he's taken my compounding approach and developed a whole scalping approach out of it. But this is him. He trades multiple pairs. He's amazing at trading GJ. He actually messaged me this morning. He had said, today was my best day trading GJ, scalping 5 trades in and out on the 5-minute and H1 zone, compounding 1 trade on USDCHF, $1.3 thousand total secured today, and I'm out for the day. Thank you. My confidence went down a little the past couple of weeks. I'm not sure why. I was up and down a lot, but today felt great. Thanks for always all the support and for the like-minded people back in the game. So yeah, anyway, so
that's fantastic. And so these guys like who are jumping on smaller time frames and stuff, are they? Do you see many of them like taking a sort of trend line on there and a moving average of some sort? Are they actually sort of using this as a base and expanding on it with some other things that they perhaps like or do?
Yes, they are. But then again, everybody does that, right? There will be people who take trades like Johnny take a GBP CAD trade, but then maybe like Elijah or Zach or Mark or one of the other like hundreds of clients we have may say, well, I didn't take that because of this, news was coming out. So everybody's going to have their own separate approach, but it's all kind of built around the same thing, which is just simple support resistance levels.
Awesome. Hey folks, ever wonder what broker I use? Well, I use Hankotrade. It was a no-brainer because I was looking for a broker with good trading conditions and one that wouldn't restrict my leverage. Now, by joining Hankotrade, I've also cut down my trading costs significantly with their super low commission of just $1 per 100K. You can learn more at hankotrade.com or just click the link I've put in the description. Thank you once again, Nick. It's been an absolute pleasure getting you back on the show for the fourth time and probably fifth time with these videos. What's the best way for guys to find out more about Mission FX and the compounding course?
www.missionfx.org/compounding.
Cool. All right, folks. Well, look, what we'll do is we'll put a link under this video for that as well, and a link to the interview that we've just shot with Nick. So if you want to find out how he's been getting on with life and everything else, then please go and check that out afterwards. Do remember, hit subscribe, hit like, click on that notifications bell, click all, and we'll see you in the next video.